Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I am doing the long-awaited video on the comparison of the Naked3 palette with the LORAC Unzipped. Now I have had so many questions about how these two palettes compare in colors because the LORAC Unzipped palette is a very rose gold palette, and as soon as I posted any videos talking about this palette, right after that Urban Decay announced that they were going to be releasing the Naked3 palette. And like a true makeup junkie and reviewer that I am, of course I hopped on board and thought, for the better of y'all, I would fall on the sword to get the Naked3 palette. No, I'm just kidding. So that I could review it for you guys. As soon as I saw that the Naked3 palette was 12 shades of more rosy toned rose gold shades they were claiming, I decided that I was going to purchase it. Now, I love the Naked palettes. I have all three of them now. Now there have been several reviews out there because I ordered my palette the very first day that it came out in the morning, and I know some people who ordered it after me because I convinced them to, and they got their palettes last week. Now mine did not just come in until yesterday, so that's why this is delayed. So there are a ton of videos out right now comparing the Naked3 to the original Naked palette and the Naked2 palette. So I'm not necessarily going to go into depth on that. This video is going to be comparing it to the LORAC Unzipped palette because that is what a lot of you expressed that you wanted to know. Just a little bit of information. This is what it looks like, and it is $52. When I first purchased the Naked 1 and Naked 2, they were both, the Naked 1 was, or the original Naked was $49 and the Naked 2 was $50. Now they've raised the prices on both the Naked original and the Naked 2, so all three are now $52. So the case on the Naked 3 is very similar to the case on the Naked 1, the metal case. Both come with a double-ended brush. I just wanted to show really quick in comparison. You can see that if you have the Naked 2, the Naked 3 is very, very different. This is the Naked 1. As you can see, it's very, very different from the Naked 1. Now, I am wearing the Naked 3 on my eyes right now, and I would say that the shades apply more of a pink, a little bit of a purple almost undertone or cooler tone to how they blend out and come across on my eye. I did film a get ready with me video, so this look will be up next week. So it's a hair tutorial, makeup, it's a full get ready with me. So anyways, but I've applied and swatched the eyeshadows, and I really like the way that they apply. I love the colors. So I think I'm gonna go one by one just so that you can see. Now, I have not done this yet, so this is gonna be like live me really checking it out. At first glance, I feel like they're very different. Even the way that this applies, it feels kind of different from this. This has a little bit more warm, more rosy gold tones in it than this says it does, but it comes across almost more taupey, plummy, mauve-y tones, than more pinky than this is true mauve burgundy. Does that make sense? So that's just my right off the bat without swatching them next to each other in comparison. The LORAC Unzipped is $40 and it comes with a small LORAC primer, and the Naked 3, like I said, is $52. It has 12 full-size shades, and this one has 10. So these are about $4 a shade, and these are about $4.33 a shade, and that is basically pretty close as far as what you're getting for the price. This has 3 matte shades in it. The LORAC Unzipped has 4 matte shades in it. So I'm going to just start with the shades that I think are very similar and start swatching them next to each other so that you can see the comparison. This is Undercover. This is the LORAC Unzipped. The consistency on these are both very creamy, come off really nice. That's the LORAC Unzipped. This is the color Strange from the Urban Decay palette. Okay, so this is the LORAC Unzipped. It has a little bit more of a pink tone. Urban Decay 3, this is Strange. It's a matte shade. It's got, like I said, this has a little bit more pink tone to it, and this has got a little bit more creamy tone to it. Both really great consistency. Next up, I swatched these 3 shades right here. Dust, Burnout, and Buzz. This is a really powdery, crumbly shade. It's basically a wash for the palette. It is very crumbly. This is a nice smooth shade, and it gives a lot of nice pink pigmentation. And Buzz is really, really pigmented. It's buttery, and it's very, very pink. This is Dust, this is Burnout, and this is Buzz from the Urban Decay palette. These 2 are from the LORAC Unzipped. Right off the bat, you can see that these 3 are very, very pink, and these 2 are more goldish and rose gold. These are the 2 colors I swatched that seemed similar. This is Unreal, and this is Unbelievable. This one is Unreal, and this is Unbelievable. So as you can see, that's the comparison to the colors. So even this Buzz and this Unbelievable are very different. See how the tones are much more pink, and these are much more warm rose gold. Okay, next up, this is the Urban Decay color Trick. Right there. That is Trick. This shade right here, which is the most rose gold looking shade in the palette. Very, very pigmented, but it doesn't have as much rosy tone as you can see that the Unbelievable color has from the LORAC Unzipped. This right here is the color Undiscovered from the LORAC Unzipped. Very creamy, more of a really finely milled shine. There is Trick right there, and that is Undiscovered right there. Those were the 2 that in the pan looked a little bit similar. They are not. This is a little bit, this is way darker. Trick is way darker. This is a little bit more smoother. And then this is the Unbelievable. Still has a little bit more rosy tones to it. I swatched Unconditional, which is the really beautiful matte mauve plum transition color in the LORAC Unzipped. Compared it to the 2 matte transitions in the Naked 3, which are Limit and Nooner. Beautiful, beautiful shades. So here are those swatched. This is Unconditional from the LORAC Unzipped. This is Nooner, which is is deeper, darker, more mauve, and this is Limit. In person, these 2, this is much pinker. This is much more of a mauve tone. It looks like these 2 mixed together. It's a lighter transition. So this one is the darkest, but I would say that they are very different if you're looking for a comparison. Still similar. You could probably, if you built up Limit, you could probably get it to this shade, but like I said, it is a little bit more of a pink tone, but if you put a little bit more of maybe a little bit of Nooner on it, you could kind of mix and get this Unconditional shade if you were not wanting to purchase both. The next comparison are these 2 shades right here, Unattainable and Uncensored. I swatched Liar, Factory, and Mugshot. This is from the LORAC Unzipped, Unattainable and Uncensored. As you can see, those are more almost bronzy, warm tones, warm rose gold bronzy tones, when in comparison to the Naked 3 palette, which has those almost purpley, pink, real rosy tones to it. Liar, Factory, and Mugshot. But as you can see, not even close to any of the same tones or colors. I wanted to quickly swatch Nooner from, and we already swatched this with the transition ones, and I wanted to swatch it with Unspoken, which is more of a brown tone, and I thought it was, but I figured it's a matte shade and I wanted to kind of get it in there and swatch, just because I knew it wasn't going to be close, but this, you know, appears very plummy, mauve-y in the pan, and so I just thought I would compare those two so that you can see those are the darker transition colors. That's the LORAC Unzipped, and that one is from Naked3. Unbridled, which is a matte deep burgundy, and this is Tamed, which is a deep blackened with burgundy shimmer. Comparing them to the last two shades in the palette right here, Dark Side and Blackheart. So this is from the Naked3, and this is Dark Side and Blackheart. And this is from the these two are from the LORAC Unzipped, and they are Unbridled and Untamed. Now I will say that these came off a little bit less pigmented, and these were very pigmented from the Naked3. So these two shades in LORAC Unzipped aren't as buttery, but they blend really well when you blend them in. But these two I thought were going to be very similar, because in the pan they look similar. They were a deepened color with a shimmer, you know, a burgundy shimmer and like a reddish shimmer running through them. This obviously is more blackened. This is more burgundy, really. And, you know, these just don't compare. As you can see, I really thought that this last color right here and this one would be similar, but they're not. And then that I didn't think was going to be like this one right here at all. So overall, I know that these two palettes appear like they might have some similar colors in them, but honestly, they don't. There's a distinct difference between the two of these palettes, as you could see in those swatches. Some might be a little close, you could get away with it, like the Unconditional Matte Transition, the plummy shade, and mixing these two Limit and Nooner together. But this is very much so more pinky with a little bit of purpley undertones, and this is more brown, bronzy, rose goldy undertones. Very, very different when swatched. I would say if you are wanting both, or if you have one and you really wanted the Naked3, I would say there's room in your collection for both without feeling like you have two things that are very similar. The quality of these all around are really, really buttery and smooth. There were a few misses with this palette, like Dust. That one really kind of sucks. Like, it's crumbly and pretty much like not even usable. Like, you could probably press that into a base, but I for the most part, it's kind of really not that great. I love the rest of these colors. I thought they applied really nice to my eyes, and I just like how they all work together. It is very different though. It comes off on my eyes more of like that purpley, plummy, really strong pink color, and then this comes off more of a rose gold, warmer tones. If you already have Naked1 and Naked2, I do think this is very, very different from those two. If you would like to see a review on that, I know there are several out there. If you just search for it, you can see how different this is if you have both Naked palettes. But I really wanted to get a good comparison in and be looking for some tutorials using the Naked3. I definitely think it is a really, really nice palette with some very wearable shades to it. This was really hard to swatch and show you, but I should have just done it like right here, right? So then I could have done this, but I didn't because I wasn't thinking. So I hope this was helpful for y'all. Like I said, overall, I think both are really great palettes. The LORAC Unzipped is definitely a must-have for me. I love it. A lot of the shades are very buttery and creamy. The last two shades are not quite as buttery and creamy as the darker shades in the Naked3 palette. These have a lot of pigmentation, but some do have a lot of fallout. Not as much fallout with the LORAC Unzipped palette. They're a little bit smoother in consistency, but the color shades are very, very different. The tones are very, very different. So if you are thinking of getting both, I definitely think you could justify both. If you already have one or the other, like I said, I think that you could be safe getting both in your collection and not feeling like you have a ton of repeats. So as far as which one do I recommend to you, I think that is your own personal preference. This, like I said, is the more warmy. So if you like warm, rosy gold tones, this is probably my recommendation. If you prefer more pinky, purpley tone, more pinky mauve, deep mauve-y tones, then this is my recommendation. Oh, one last thing. Urban Decay is releasing this, I believe Ulta's are getting them on the 11th, 12th, 13th, somewhere in that time range. I know ours in our town is getting it on the 11th, and they're having some sort of release party for it. So call your local Ulta and just check if you are interested in getting your hands on it in the store where you can swatch it. I'm not quite sure the exact release dates, but if I do find that information, I will put it in the info box below so you can check there. I know they keep re-releasing it online. If that's your best bet, just keep looking there. Get on the email list for Urban Decay, and they will send you a message when it is back in stock, and hopefully you will have enough time to pick it up then. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Mwah.